In today's video, we're exploring an intriguing alternate reality where our beloved Straw Hat Captain, Monkey D. Luffy, becomes a Marine. Imagine a world where Luffy, under the influence of his grandfather Garp, follows the path of justice in the Navy while still wielding the power of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, or should we say, the Nika fruit. This scenario promises a thrilling twist on the epic tale we know and love, as Luffy navigates the complex moral landscape of the Marines, challenging the corrupt system from within and striving to uphold his core ideals of freedom and justice. Stick around as we delve into this captivating what-if scenario and explore how Luffy's journey might unfold in this alternate universe. Garp's apprentice, Luffy would have followed into the footsteps of Garp. If Luffy had never been a pirate, Garp's influence would almost certainly have reached him. However, by the time Garp began to influence Luffy, he had already gained the power of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. This suggests that in this parallel reality, Luffy would still be able to use the Nika fruit. Of course, fans are aware that Zoan-type devil fruits have their own will, and so the Nika fruit would not have been in the custody of someone who would later become a Marine. However, if Luffy adhered to his essential values, this parallel reality could have worked. Assuming Luffy ate his devil fruit and Garp subsequently convinced him to become a Marine, Luffy would have been the type of Marine who prioritized his independence above all else. This is simply due to the fact that Luffy, as Nika, is the one who defends freedom for not only himself but the whole world as well. This means that Luffy would continue to go from place to place, saving people and liberating their country. In some ways, this would make Luffy a really exciting Marine, following in the footsteps of Garp. Fans are well aware that Garp is a wild card in the Navy's ranks. He does not follow the same rules that everyone else does. At the same time, fans understand that Garp is granted free reign by those in power solely because he possesses enormous strength. As a result, if Luffy achieved a comparable level of strength, he would not be required to follow the Navy's laws. Luffy would go on to become an extraordinarily powerful Marine, rising to high ranks. Luffy, like Garp, would reject the position of Admiral because it would place him directly under the Celestial Dragons. Luffy would most likely become a formidable Vice Admiral, halting his advancements right there. This would allow Luffy to do whatever he wanted while remaining free from the influence of the Celestial Dragons and people above. Ushering in a new age of Marines, Luffy would become the face of the new Marines. While being a Vice Admiral would undoubtedly allow Luffy some independence, it would also impose many constraints on him. He wouldn't enjoy that, especially as Nika. This is precisely why Luffy would usher in a new generation of Marines. Fans know that Garp had quite radical beliefs when compared to the rest of the Marines, but he never acted on them or attempted to usher in a new era. Instead, Garp chose to raise the next generation of Navy, and he expects them to usher in a new era. If Luffy was the face of this new era, Garp would commit everything to his grandson, hoping that he would one day alter the Navy. His son, Dragon, was also a member of the Navy, but after witnessing the crimes and dark pasts of the institution, he decided to quit and form the Revolutionary Army. In this scenario, Luffy would not leave the Marines, but rather remain a member of the organization and work to transform it from inside. Luffy would be the type of Marine that doesn't care if pirates are bad and Marines are good in his opinion. Everybody who performs good is good, while anyone who does evil is wicked. This means Luffy wouldn't always see things in black and white. Any pirate crew that saves people is excellent in his eyes, and he will be grateful to them. In fact, he would not hesitate to help pirates. At the same time, he would not hesitate to put the corrupt Marines in their place, as that is his moral compass. Luffy would not want to be a hero, just as he would not want to be a pirate, and he would most importantly want to free others from their misery. To accomplish all of this, Luffy would need to transform the Marines from the inside out, which would require him to eventually lead a coup from within. This coup would see Luffy overthrow not only the Celestial Dragons, but all of the corrupt Marines from the inside out. Essentially, he would have to work against the organization to make this future a reality, which would undoubtedly make for a fascinating scenario in One Piece. The one to redefine the order, Luffy would dismantle the Marines as fans know it. If Luffy were to become a Marine, one would expect great things from him, and knowing that the Celestial Dragons, specifically the Five Elders and Emu and the Five Elders are the most corrupt people in One Piece's world, he would work to overthrow them and re-establish what it means to be a Marine. Luffy would effectively lead a powerful revolution by assembling his own crew, similar to the Straw Hat Pirates, and then resolving to take down those who bring tears to the eyes of ordinary people. Luffy will completely destroy the celestial dragons for keeping slaves, causing suffering to humans, and engaging in other practices such as human trafficking, slave trade, and many others that they openly promote. Luffy's team would undoubtedly be formidable, and when the time came, he would join forces with all of his comrades to overthrow the world government regime. Luffy, being the character he is, would not seek credit for it. He would assure that the Marines, as fans know them, would be disbanded. Even though he was a Marine, Luffy would be the one to bring an end to the Marine Order in One Piece. A new world order would be established, and because Luffy loves freedom above all else, he would ensure that everyone working for this organization had the freedom to follow their own moral compass. Above all, Luffy would most certainly retire from his post as a Marine. He would like to live the life of an explorer on the seas, going from island to island, doing what he does best, saving people. Essentially, even if Luffy were a Marine, the Nika principle would work in One Piece, except this time, Luffy would work from within the Navy to undermine it and lead a coup when the time was perfect. Summary and highlights. Luffy's pirate expedition is crucial to the One Piece story, as it is associated with freedom and adventure. Luffy as a Marine would have made a distinct and fascinating story, transforming the organization from within. Luffy's beliefs of liberty and justice would spark a revolution among the Marines, destabilizing the corrupt institution. And that wraps up our exploration of an alternate reality where Luffy becomes a Marine. It's fascinating to imagine how the story of One Piece would shift with Luffy fighting from within the Navy, challenging the very foundation of its corrupt system, and leading a revolution for true justice and freedom. Luffy's indomitable spirit and unwavering moral compass would undoubtedly make him a formidable Marine, reshaping the world in ways we can only dream of. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking One Piece content. Let us know in the comments what other what-if scenarios you'd like us to explore next. Until next time, stay adventurous and keep dreaming of the Grand Line. Thank you very much for visiting the Mutual War Review YouTube channel, buddy. We hope you enjoy our review analysis. Don't forget to subscribe to continue joining us on our joyful journey in the world of anime. If you have any wishes, questions, or suggestions for our next videos, feel free to express your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for your support, and until we meet again. See you next time, buddy. What is One Piece anime? One Piece is a manga and anime story about a young boy named Monkey D. Luffy who wants to be the king of the pirates in the world. As a child, he eats a devil fruit, a strange plant that makes him able to stretch like rubber. Before the show starts, Luffy goes out into the world for the first time and starts to gather a group of pirates. The main group grows over time, but it starts with Luffy, Nami the Navigator, and a swordsman named Roronoa Zoro. At some point, Luffy and his friends are known as the Straw Hat Pirates, and they go on many exciting adventures across the ocean. One Piece is a lot of fun because it's silly. Luffy goes from island to island around the world in the series. Each island has its own setting and theme. It's a pretty fantastical world full of animals that look like people, live skeletons, and other delightfully strange things. Within moments the group is in a winter scene, and the next they are on a tropical island full of giants. The show is full of silly and bright details. For example, Zoro holds a sword in his mouth, a scary military boss wears a cute bulldog hat. And people don't use phones to talk to each other instead. They use special transponder snails that can send and receive messages. Luffy is a carefree person who just wants to eat a tasty meal and laugh at bad jokes. Even though there are some funny parts in the series, a lot of One Piece is about freedom. During his travels, Luffy often takes up guns to help his friends and encourages others to do the same against pirates and government-backed military occupations. The characters in Luffy and his crew get stronger with each fight, which is typical for shonen manga. A lot of the story is about how Luffy beats a problem that seemed impossible to solve and finds some kind of secret power. After each fight, Luffy and his team get stronger and move closer to his main goal, which is to find the One Piece. Why is it called One Piece? The first part of both the manga and the anime shows that Pirate King Gold D. Roger is telling the truth about the mythical wealth called the One Piece. One Piece is the name of the show because Luffy wants to find the One Piece and become the next Pirate King. One of Luffy's main goals in the show is mentioned in the show's title. What is the One Piece? The answer to this question is still one of the biggest secrets in the series. It's been more than 1,000 episodes, and we still don't know what One Piece is. We know that the One Piece is the name of the treasure that Gold D. Roger collected on his travels because of details in the manga. We still don't know a lot about the treasure, though. There are a lot of ideas from fans about what the One Piece is, but we still don't know what it is or even if it's real. The One Piece could just be the friends Luffy makes along the way.